Hello and welcome to another episode of Between the Covers. If you're watching right now live, please do tap the screen, show us some love, let us know where you're watching from, what are you watching and who am I? So my name is Danny Bleckner or Daniela Bleckner. I'm an author, book journey mentor, founder of a company called Conscious Dreams Publishing, and we transform diverse writers into successful public authors, one of whom you're going to hear from today. I'm absolutely passionate about providing a platform for unseen, unheard authors and voices so they can have their voices shared and stories heard for generations to come. On the bookshelf behind me are just some of the 250 plus books that we've published over the last 5 to 6 years. I'm absolutely passionate about working with authors from all over the world to help them to get their powerful messages and stories out there. So as I fade down the music, what is this show all about? And why is it called Between the Covers? Well, Between the Covers gets up close and personal with not just authors, but people within the industry, within the published industry, so you can find out what goes on between the covers of creating a book. Like, we can look at a book and we can appreciate its beauty, we can appreciate the words, the story and the message behind it, but often readers are completely oblivious as to the work, the blood, the sweat, the tears that goes on behind the creation of the book. Publishing a book is very much a journey, which is why I call myself the Book Journey Mentor. So who am I speaking with today? Can you guess? So I'm going to introduce to you someone I have worked with before. She's an amazing lady and also one of my dear friends. Her name is Dilys Sillah. She's a qualified life coach, public speaker, and author of 3 books. This is the second book that she's publishing with us. Her first book she published with us was called Not This Widow in 2018. And she has written a book in a record time called 365 Ways to Tell You You're Special. She's an incredible woman who is also a minister at New Glory Ministry in London and talk show host. Her passion for transformation extends beyond words, making her a sought after TEDx speaker and events host. So if you have an event, you know who to go to. Outside of writing, Dilys is also the proud founder of the Not This Widow Foundation in Ghana and the first patron of the Fountain of Youth International School in Ghana. We have got a lot to talk about. So please do, if you find this of worth and value, how can you not? Because it's Dilys Sillah. Please do share this out to your friends and followers. Hey, Dilys.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. How did you like the intro?
I thought it was amazing. However, I wrote Not This Widow in 2019. It was published in 2020.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Dilys will always tell me if I slip up. It feels like so long ago, but then also in a way like yesterday, that it's almost hard for me anyway to put a time on it. So I can't imagine how that must feel for you.
Oh, I remember when we met for lunch and I said to you, look, I want to do this book and this is when I want it to be published by. How long do we have? And that was in June. And you had the book by September. Yeah. You had the book by September.
One thing about Dilys is she does not do things by halves. If there's anybody who keeps me on my seat, keeps me flying on the seat of my pants, is that the saying? It is definitely Dilys. And I'm quite good working like that, but I couldn't sustain that for my entire life.
No, it is very full on, I have to admit.
It's great. I mean, obviously I'd love for you to introduce yourself, but first of all, you've received your proof copy today. And I just want to impress upon people that Dilys has done this in such a short turnaround. I mean, you got in contact with me around the end of December and said, right, I've got this talk show that I'm going to do and I need to tie it in with this book. I've got to write 365 affirmations. I'm giving myself a month. I'm like,
It was hard. I'm not going to lie. It was hard. It was hard.
Tell us first about the book and what inspired you to write it.
So this book, I was inspired to write it because I felt that we have so much that is fighting our mental health, our emotional health, our peace, our confidence, our faith, whatever it is, there seems to be something or someone, whether it's just people you meet generally or on social media, which I'm on obviously a lot because of what I do, that is speaking something contrary to what we need for our spirit, for our mind, for our soul. And the negativity is so much that I felt that it was necessary for people to have something that they could relate to in a way that wasn't patronizing and that was about real life, that could empower people to speak the words that they needed to speak over their existence and over their circumstances. So that's why I wrote this book. And it's very different from other affirmation books where you just have an affirmation. Whereas the way I've written this book, there is some context, and I cover everything from childhood trauma to relationships, to wanting to change your career, to how you manage friendships, how to deal with conflict, forgiveness, you name it, it's in there. So yeah.
And what I love about is that when I was reading it, I was reading the book and relating to bits as well. I was like, oh yeah, it's so easy just to read. It's not difficult. You don't have to start from one particular affirmation and go to the other. You can choose one, dip in, and the advice and the way that you've written is so beautiful. You've got your Dilys humor. We've got Jay Benlow saying, I hope to meet you both one day in person. Yes, we have to.
Come to the book launch next Friday.
The book launch is in Birmingham, but come on. She says it was hilarious and such wit. And that's
I had someone flying in from, I think someone's coming from Manchester. They said they're getting on a plane and they're coming to the book launch. There you go. Someone's coming from Ghana.
Okay, you got no excuse now, Jay. You've got to come down. I'm just sharing this out here for you. So yeah, as Jay is saying, that you've got so much wit and your personality really comes across in the book. I've read a lot of affirmation books and inspirational quotes, but you've got the explanation at the top, and it's beautifully set out. You've got the explanation at the top, then you've got like a quote that you've written at the bottom, and it's just a beautiful book. And during the process, Dilys would say, right, pick a number. I'll give her a number, and then she'll get me to read the affirmation, or she'd read it to me, and it was always the right one at the right time. So I think there's something definitely
isn't that amazing? It actually surprised me, and I've done this with many people, and I'd say, look, just pick a number 1 to 365, and they pick it and they're like, oh my god, I really needed that. And I always feel when someone says, I'm like, right, mission accomplished. And that's why when I started writing the book originally, I had the book in a way where it was numbered day 1, day 2 through to 365. And there was something that wasn't gelling with me. Something was just not sitting right. And then I thought, no, I'm going to change it to affirmations 1 to 365, because I don't want someone to think, oh, well, this is day 10. This is the only thing that I can listen to today, and that's it. I've got to close the book. I want people to be able to treat it like a lucky dip kind of thing, and just wherever the book opens up to, let it speak to them. So I changed it for that reason, and then I felt, now it's doing what I want it to do.
And what's great as well is that there's no pressure, because sometimes I think we can feel pressure for things to be linear. I've got to read this before I get here, and it's random, and it's
it's random, a bit like me.
Exactly. Speaking of random, let's have a look at. So Angie is So someone's saying to Angie to log out and log back in again. There's definitely sound. So can you show us the book cover, which I love, and I hope you've noticed, Dilys, I always like to wear the colours.
You look lovely, actually.
Oh, thank you. I'm wearing this just for you.
Oh, well, you did good. So that's the book. I don't know I think the lighting is a little bit dodgy, so let me move this light.
If you sort of lift it up a bit, we can see the actual image. Beautiful.
Yeah. And the inside, I've got to show you the inside because it's in color.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see it. But hold on.
Yeah, you can see that. It's coffee beans.
Yeah. So grab a coffee and read the book. So yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it.
I've got my cup of coffee, although I shouldn't really be drinking coffee at this time.
Oh, I've been drinking coffee. Well, I've been good today, actually.
I'll drink for you. But what I love is that you've got we were talking about random, you've got this coffee bean that's gold in the middle.
Yes.
the others.
I don't know if you can. Right, I'm going to see. Hold on.
Do you know what I'm going to see if I can do? I'm going to see
There you go.
if I can do something I haven't done before, which is share the screen, and you'll be the very first person I've done this for. You ready?
And that's what I'm ready.
Should I give it a go?
Give it a go. If it crashes, it crashes.
All right, hold on. Share screen. I'm too scared.
Go for it.
I'm gonna do it anyway. Oh, okay. Jay, let us know if you can see this. Hey there, Faye. Hey, Angie. So I'm sharing Dilys's cover. Let me know if you can see.
Yes.
Oh, it's the first
Well
time
done.
Hey, this is a new thing I'm going to do. Look at that. It just
Well
deserves to be seen in its full glory.
Thank you. It is beautiful. It's an excellent design that you guys came up with. It was like a no-brainer when I saw it.
It's all right. We know what looks good.
Mm-hmm.
You are a very kind of, I remember your book launch, you had sort of black and gold theme, and your last black and gold theme, and it kind of really suits you and your brand.
Thank you.
So just everything from the font to the image of the coffee bean standing out by itself, I think is beautiful. So you're getting a lot of positive comments here. Misty D, hey Misty D, fellow author, says she can see it. Lovely, fantastic book cover, says
Thank
Tara.
You so much. Well, hi Tara, how you doing?
Hey Tara. DC Mike says hi, I'm watching from Nigeria. Hi from Nigeria.
Okay, thank you for watching, sir.
Glamorous and elegant.
Oh, thank you.
It worked. Awesome, Kenny. Hey, Kenny. How you doing? Another one of our authors. Also black and gold theme here. Hope you can make it to the book launch, which we'll talk about later. Good question. Why coffee? Joanne's also saying very striking. But let's crack into that. Why coffee?
Well, I think I said something about coffee. I did, didn't I?
A warm hug.
Yes, I think the thing is, when people are designing things for me, I like to be surprised. So I don't like to give too much of an instruction on what I want. I may just throw in bits here and there because I really am interested to hear or see what people come up with. So I may have mentioned like reading the affirmations, having a cup of coffee whilst you're reading it, and that's where I think the person got this great idea, but that wasn't me. I had nothing to do with the design. So I can't take the contents, I can take the glory for, but the cover, no, not at all.
I'm just putting the link in because somebody's asking. It's available, Kelly, at the Conscious Dreams bookshop, but I'm also putting the link in right now, and it's in the post at the top. But I mean, the coffee, here we go, I'll highlight it there. The coffee bean, Dilys is taking pre-orders now. It's there's £5 off if you get it from the Conscious Dreams bookshop. It will be on Amazon and all good retailers in a few days, but it's the best deal is at the Conscious Dreams bookshop. So in terms of coffee, I kind of saw it as, you can read the book, you've got time to reflect, you sit down, you have a nice cup of coffee, and you open the book and you read an affirmation, and it's your time to just reflect and ponder. But I also love the idea of, there are many, many coffee beans in this image. And that gold one just stands out amongst all of them. And actually, I think your message of this is that we're all gold. We're all gold coffee beans, aren't we, in our own way. One thing I love about this is that you're releasing it on Valentine's Day. Where a lot of people think, oh, it's got to be for somebody else, or love, romance, all of these sorts of things. So talk me through why Valentine's Day, and what's your message behind that?
I think Valentine's Day is a day where it's typically dedicated to love, but typically dedicated to loving somebody other than yourself. And I think what I wanted to achieve with this book was for people to start that journey loving themselves in context, because obviously I work as a coach. I do public speaking. I do a lot of things where I give support to people. And it always irritates me greatly when I hear people say, just love yourself. Well, how the hell do you do that? If that's not something, you don't just get up and love yourself one day, because if it was that easy, everybody would be loving themselves. But there is a process by which you are able to do that. And when people have gone through trauma, or they have been brought up in a household where there wasn't any love, or they've been in relationships where they were abused, be it mentally, physically, or whatever that the case may have been, most of us need to be taught how to love ourselves. Some of us can't even take compliments graciously. Do you understand? So for me, releasing it on Valentine's Day was me essentially saying, here is a gift for you because you are special. Doesn't matter whether you have that state of being special to somebody, you must be special to you. And when you read a lot of the affirmations, there's a lot of me in there. And I didn't use myself for a reason. I wanted it to be so personal that you couldn't miss it. You couldn't possibly think that I was speaking to someone else. When I'm telling you that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, when I am telling you that you have the right to be happy, when I'm telling you that you do not have to compromise on your values just because it doesn't align with somebody else's, I mean it. And so that was the reason why I wanted it released on Valentine's Day.
Amazing. Thank you. And when she told me that, she wouldn't accept us doing any later.
No, listen, it was hard work. It was hard work on me. I actually thought, why do you do this to yourself? But it was that important to me. I was like, well, you know. And Danny, may I just say to everybody, she was trying to coerce me to releasing it on International Women's Day. I'm like, no, I've already got something lined up for that.
I only do this for Dilys, you know, like normally it's a 90-day process, give or take, especially with this when you're planning a launch. But Dilys, and you're so formidable, like you're one of these authors, one of these people that I work with, you're extremely proactive. So I know that if I'm, you know, to work to a tight deadline, which we can do, I know that you're going to reciprocate.
Yeah, you don't have to chase me.
I will send her something, and like in the next minute, it's done. I'm like, oh gosh, it's gonna happen. We have to do it now. You know, there's no like, well, you've taken too long. We're gonna have to do this. Yes, it's done.
That's true.
I really love that about you. Just the action, you get it done. If you're watching, whether now, well, we can't really do it on the replay, so let's just throw something out here. Think of a number between 1 and 365, and maybe the first 3 people can throw them up, and Dilys will write them out. I don't have my book yet. Mine's arriving tomorrow.
I'll read them out.
So a number between 1 and 365, and then Dilys will read them out. In the meantime, tell us a little bit. Hey, Faye. Faye's going to be at the launch.
Faye's lovely.
She is.
I'm really glad to hear that she's coming.
Mr. D says 325. Okay, we've got 2 numbers, 18, 325. Okay, let's start with 18. Got magic as Faye bought. Come on. 25. Okay.
Okay. So 18 says, conflict isn't nice, but it's a necessary part of adult life. Sure, you face conflict as a child, but now you have so many things you're aware of and have to consider with adult relationships. How does one walk away without leaving a bomb site behind? Honest words spoken in love is how. Listening to understand and not just to respond, so you too can be heard. And the affirmation is, my voice has value. I have value. I have the right to be listened to, but I first need to listen and hear myself. What am I really saying? Is it clear? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Yes, then I will be bold and speak my truth in love and kindness.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. But you know why? Because I personally know Faye, I mean, I'll wait for Faye to write her message. That just makes so much. Exactly. So Faye is one of our authors. Her books in my bag, so I took it to my workshop at the weekend, called I Got You. And it talks about self-love, and there are a few affirmations in there as well. Yeah, I do know. Do you mind if I share, Faye, or do you want to maybe put something yourself up there? But one of the major themes of her book is the power of your voice, using your voice, being heard, and resolving conflict through being true to your voice. Like that.
This happens nearly every single time, where someone will say, right, oh my gosh, I just needed that. And you see, words are spirit, and That's why we have to be careful of the things that we say.
Yeah.
If you tell a child constantly, you're stupid, you're useless, you'll amount to nothing, guess what? They'll be stupid and useless, amount to nothing, and no matter what they achieve in life, that voice will always be in the back of their mind. They will keep on doing more and more and more to silence that voice, and they will never be able to do it until they consciously decide to confront it and deal with it. So I'm hoping that by the time anyone finishes reading this book, that there is a spirit that will overtake them, that which they couldn't do before, they will believe that they can absolutely do anything. And that really, for me, would be mission accomplished.
Oh, it's honestly, everything you've just said, even there, is just amazing. But yeah, it just resonates so much, just in general, but also, here we go, right? So Faye says, yeah, I avoided conflict in communication for many reasons. 1, abuse. 2, phrases like little children should be seen and not heard. She would have been writing that as you were talking about telling children things, and that's a big part of our book, the words that we speak to children. You should definitely connect. This is amazing. Okay, summed up in the nutshell, Faye Clinton. Okay, are we ready for
the number?
Another one is 3, 2, 5.
I thought there was one after the 18.
Yeah, 3, 2, 5, and then there was 25.
Okay,
and then we've got everyone else is throwing up a number as well. But let's
go buy the book. So 3, 2, 5. Don't hide who you really are. If you're proud of you, shine for the world to see. You are created to be a light to shine. Don't shrink or hide the true you. You are the missing component in somebody's story. And the affirmation is, I will be bold and stand out. I am not going to diminish who I am by hiding who I am. What I have inside me is what the world needs. I am meant to stand out. Oh
my gosh. I know Misty D as well. She did our workshop, and I'll let her write whatever she wants to write if that resonates with you, Misty D. But wow, that's amazing. I think we need to do some more.
Well, we've got 25.
Okay, we've got 25. Can I just say one thing about what you just read with Misty D? We recently had a book strategy call because she's published a book a while ago, and one of the things was her actions was to be bold and to do a live stream. And she said, "Oh, I'm scared." Like, do you know what I mean? Like, everybody has those fears of being seen, like, going live and being bold. So I hope that is affirmation that's a really great way to go.
Excellent.
Thanks, Dilys.
You're very welcome.
Tara, number 25.
Titles should never allow anyone to feel entitled to treat you poorly or make you feel inferior or bad about yourself. Titles come with responsibility. So if anyone's title is making you feel small, afraid, or irrelevant, take away that title and speak up for yourself and stand up for you. And the affirmation is, I am bold and assertive. I have the capacity and the power to advocate for myself. I have a voice, a strong and powerful voice. I speak clearly and articulately to stand up for what is right. I stand up for me because I am important. I am of value. I deserve to be treated well. So that's number 25. It's a bit like playing bingo.
I know it is. I'm like, come on, what's the next one? But I was going to say, when obviously I reading them in my head, but there is power in our words and power in our voice. And so when you read them out loud, you can feel more of the power of it. Would you recommend people read them out loud to themselves?
It's really funny because there is an affirmation in here where I say to people, I say in the book, speak out loud. I don't know whether it's in here or whether I was speaking somewhere. And I was saying that it's important that we do speak out loud. When they say the voice is in your head, it's exactly there, it's in your head. And if you try and have an argument with yourself in your head, you will lose. Because that voice is louder. Because that voice is connected to your heart and your emotions. And the counter voice is exactly that. It's a counter voice. It's not the original voice. Otherwise, it wouldn't be voices in your head. But the moment you speak loudly and you speak out loud, you can automatically begin to think much more clearly and be far more assertive to respond to that voice in your head. I do it all the time. So contrary to people making you think that you're crazy if you speak to yourself, speak to yourself. There's times I have to say, Dilys, you know what? Why are you afraid? What is it that is bugging you? Is it this? Is it this? And I speak to myself all the time. And that really does allow me to get a grip on my thoughts, and my thoughts not get a grip of me. Because if you allow that voice to keep going round and round and round and round, in the end, you will lose the argument. Put it that way.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Okay. Tara says, wow, powerful, 100% relate to this.
Well, Tara's going to be at the book launch.
At the book launch. Okay. There'll be a couple more and comments, and then I really do want to go to Jay's one more number maybe, and then I really want to find out about this book launch and let everybody know. Sure. Mr. D says, I'm so pleased I did the live and had such a great time. Yes. Good. Said, I am bold and definitely born to stand out. Yes, you made me do the live, Danny.
Good.
Once you start, you won't go back. Jay says, Danny Bleckner knows that we are very interested in numbers and how they align. Do the numbers connect to the affirmation in any way? Well,
what do you mean?
So for example, you had 333, didn't you? I don't know whether that was purposely done, but the context of that was about repetition.
Oh, I have no idea. For me, I just, as I felt led in my spirit, I just, had the affirmation, and then, or I had the quote, and then I had the affirmation afterwards. It's just how I felt in the moment, to be honest.
Okay. When I speak out loud, I can sense a frequency.
It's important. It's really, it makes a huge difference. Trust me.
Can we do one more?
Yeah, sure.
And then, ladies and gents, we've got to buy the book. Okay. 144. Go on then, Jay. You've contributed a lot today.
It's a nice thick book. It's not a pamphlet.
And beautifully designed.
Yeah, it is. It will make a lovely gift for Valentine's, birthday present, Christmas, and it's very good for your mental health. Trust me. 144. Life happens to all of us, but how we respond to the trials of life are different for everyone. Be mindful that your brokenness doesn't destroy others. Don't wound others because you are wounded. There is always a way to heal brokenness. Find it. It's waiting for you. And the affirmation is, my past will not control me. It will not ruin the people who have come into my life as a blessing. I will not punish those who did not cause my pain. I will set myself free so I don't put anyone in bondage by knowing me. I will pursue freedom and enjoy life.
I love that. One of my favorite parts of that actually is it's flipping it, that not thinking about the power on the impact that we have on other people through our words, our deeds, our thoughts, not wanting to be bondage or cause bondage to anybody else. You want to leave this earth knowing that you've done as little damage as possible, to the planet and to others. And I felt that was a really good reminder. And another, sometimes we say, oh, I don't want to heal. It's too painful. It's too this, it's too that. But our wounds, like you say, are not just damaging to us, but so damaging to other people.
And many a time we don't see it. And we don't realize that people are responding to the person that we are, And you see, by nature, I'm somebody that is very much about responsibility. My kids will tell you. The thing that I always say is take responsibility for your actions. I'm very much like that. And so when I'm dealing with people, it's probably why I work as a coach, because the difference with a coach is we don't tell you what to do. What we do is we're like your wingman, your blind spot, to guide you into that place where you make the decision so that you can own it. I can tell you what to do, and you may follow through with the actions mechanically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, that's not your decision. You're just acting a role. You're not taking ownership of it. And I think that in order for us to be able to live that life of peace, listen, for me, I pursue peace like no man's business. I am in my element, like my house. You will not hear very rarely will you hear the TV on or loud music. It's always quiet. And then I have my, I love my candles and my scented candles and stuff. And I just like peace. And if we are going to have the best out of life, we have to heal to experience that peace. Because then I teach this, but when it comes to trauma, the fact that you don't want to deal with it is irrelevant. Trauma will deal with you. And it will show up in, things like depression, how you relate to food, in your relationships, even in your sleep. Because what it's saying, and I describe it as being like water. We were not designed for trauma. Trauma is alien to what we were created for. We were created for peace and for love. And so when we are traumatized and we don't deal with it, it's like stagnant water. Water gives life. And so when that trauma happens and you don't allow it to flow and go, it becomes stagnant. And what does stagnant water do? It smells, it breathes disease. There are all sorts of things, insects that come about and start to disturb the people that are near that water. Exactly. It's not good for you. And because trauma knows it has no business being inside you, it will say, can you please let me go? Okay, I've asked nicely, you didn't listen. Now I'm going to be depression. I will manifest in relation to your personality type, and I will show you that I would like to leave now, please. So that's your cue to deal with the trauma. It will never allow you to just lock it away. It will allow you for some time as a coping mechanism for your brain. But when its time is up, it will remind you constantly, please, can I leave now? And you will have to deal with it.
Wow. That's powerful. I think, how can people be coached by you, Dilys? Because I feel coached already. I mean, I've only been listening we've only been on for like 30 minutes and you're just giving so much value. And like you say, you're a guide on the side, getting people to think.
Because my calling, and I believe every one of us has a calling. Everyone, you see, the problem that we have, be it with depression or anything negative, is because we haven't discovered the reason for our existence. If we know the purpose why we are here, how we approach life, the decisions we make, whether it's the decisions we make in regards to the people we date, the people we marry, and what have you, it will govern all of that. I'll give you an example. And it may sound strange to people, but hey, when have I ever been bothered about that? From my childhood, I always knew I would be somebody. I didn't know who, but I knew I would be somebody that people would remember. And this is something that's quite characteristic of all my family, all 5 of us. If we go anywhere, everybody will remember who we are. So for that reason, I knew that there would never be a sex tape of me doing anything dodgy, because someday I'll be somebody. There was never anything that I knew the tabloids would be able to get hold of, because I knew that one day I'll be somebody. I did not know the full reason for my creation of my purpose, but I knew it was something. And for that reason, I was mindful in how I conducted myself because of that vision. When we don't have a vision for ourselves, we are reckless in the decisions we make because we don't know any better. But when we can get to that place where we have an understanding that I am not here by mistake, that I am here to serve a purpose and I'm here for good reason, the way we behave and the way we think and the way we even deal with people is very different. Very different.
Thank you, Dilys.
And how you can be coached by me is...
Huh? But how can people work with you? How can people work with you?
I mean, I do 30-minute consultations for free. It was an hour, but now you know me. I'm so busy. I really can't.
An hour is way too generous.
Listen, I've been doing that for years. I only stopped that last year. I just didn't have the capacity. So I do a 30-minute consultation for people to know a little bit of how I work, what coaching is, and whether we gel. And I think it's really important to say this. A lot of people say, oh, coaching doesn't work, counseling doesn't work. It works. You need to interview your coach or your counselor or your psychologist or your psychotherapist, whoever. They are working for you. That's why when my late husband passed away and the doctor offered me counseling on the NHS, I said no. Because you could put me with one idiot that would actually, set me back. Yeah. So I took my money because it's important to invest in yourself. And I took my money and I sat on that couch every Thursday at 11 a.m. with my counselor. So if people are prepared to, if they're really serious about change, then they will put the time and the money, and they'll put their money where their mouth is. So 30 minutes consultation. They can hit me up on social media, and I'll set up a Zoom call, because it's important that I can see the person that I'm coaching. It's important that I can read you. So you'll be surprised at what I can tell by just looking at you. So I do Christian coaching as well. I do normal coaching. So yeah, I'm a very fun person to work with. I'm a tough person to work with. I will not let you hide.
Tough love.
You know, I have a client that has been with me now for about 3 years, and I would challenge her. I would say, that's just not true. You did it for this reason. Own it. Don't be, if you're going to do it, just own it. And yeah, we've made great inroads. And I also coach couples as well. So I do marriage coaching, I do Christian coaching, relationship, trauma, and just general life coaching as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Mr. D says counseling is fantastic, the best investment in yourself. 150%. So your book launch, I've thrown up the link to the book launch, which is taking place
thank you so much.
Friday. Tell us about it. What can we expect? And tell us about the different tickets.
If any of you have been to any of my events, they're always very plush, and you are spoilt. It's, for me, I feel that if you're coming out of your house, I have to give you an experience. So it will not be like anything that you've had before. And I can say that boldly. Like, seriously.
Even coming to Dilys's house, because I've had the pleasure to come to her house. 3-course. I mean, I was just coming around to say hello. 3-course plush meal. She gave me a beautiful blanket to wrap myself up in. It was just, like, when I've been to your events, they've always been not just a launch or an event. It's been an experience. And
because I want people to leave full in their spirit, to go away knowing that they have encountered something that will be life-changing for them. So I'm very open, I'm very honest. So when I do my interviews, I always make sure there's an interview. When I'm doing my book launches, a Q&A as well. If you buy the VIP tickets, you will get something nice and bubbly to drink on arrival, canapes. That's when you have your networking experience, plus a signed copy of the book, other, VIPs as well in that space. And yeah, it's lovely. Those tickets are only $39.99. Now, if you consider that the book is actually retailing at $19.99, it's a steal. It's at the Rembrandt Hotel in South Kensington. So it's very, very lovely. It's only about 5 minutes walk, if that, from the station. The next ticket down is $29.99. That includes a book, but it's not signed. And then there's a $9.99 entry. And there are a few free tickets if they are still available. So I try to cater for everybody. I really don't like to leave anyone out if I can help it. So yeah.
And you can get those tickets now. Well, actually, maybe don't wait for the interview to finish. Just click on now, multitask, get those tickets.
Yeah, it's a lovely evening out. It will be really, really nice, really gorgeous.
And will you be singing? Because you sing, don't you? As well.
Well, if I was singing, those tickets are going to be £100 at least.
All right.
I hadn't planned to sing.
Just thought, just came to my head.
There may be mountains that I might have to climb, and there may be battles that you may need to fight. But victory or defeat, it's up to you to decide. Oh, how can you expect to win if you never try? You just can't give up now. You've come too far from where you started from. Nobody told you the road would be easy, and I don't believe the Lord has brought you this far to leave you. So there you go.
Woo! That was amazing. I was not expecting it. You probably thought up. Well, we've only had one other guest sing on this show in like the 6 years I've been doing this. So that was fantastic.
Thank you. I just thought, you know what? I'm always like, oh, I don't sing anymore, because I used to sing years ago.
It's
I
lovely.
don't really sing now, but there you go.
Well, look, I feel like, people have heard, a fraction of your amazing talent. So I would maybe it would be great for you to sing. Who wants Dilys to sing at her launch?
Oh gosh, it requires so much preparation, and unfortunately, I don't think that my brother's going to be here this time, because normally he will have the music and stuff sorted out for me.
I'm winding you up. Misty D's giving the claps. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. What? Dilys, sing, girl, sing.
Thank you. Hey, Sophie, how you doing? So thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. This is my first interview of my book. So I was really excited,
Gorgeous book. You sang at the last event, so I hope you will. Oh, what have I started? I was going to ask you a question. It has completely gone from my mind, because I'm just thinking about you singing. So we've got the book launch coming up on the Friday. I put the link up. You can order your tickets there. There are very few free tickets there. Go for the VIP. Those look like they're the best ones.
Yeah.
How can people connect with you, Dilys? Oh, that was it. Podcast. Somebody mentioned your podcast.
Okay, so I hadn't announced it, but I might as well stop keeping it a secret. There is going to be a podcast. You are going to hear me read out these affirmations, all 365 of them. And there is a little twist to it as well, which I will not release, which is not in the book, but is on the podcast, which will be out soon. That's all I'm saying.
Say no more. It's going
to be great.
It would be great for you to have to have it on audio so people can listen.
Yeah, it will be on audio. Yeah.
Well, we're going to stop stealing. We're going to stop giving away Dilys.
Yeah, all my secrets.
Thank you, Dilys. My spirit needed to hear that song with your voice.
Oh, God bless you.
You never know who's listening. How can people connect with you, and what's next for Dilys?
How can people connect with me? So you can hit me up on Facebook, send me a message on there, or Instagram. I'm not that great on Instagram, but you get me on Facebook. Or you can message me at speakwithdilys@gmail.com. So you can do that. How else? And on my website, which I'm revamping it. So dilyssillah.com. So I'm really boring when it comes to names. So yeah.
I called my writer's weekend.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah.
There you go. dilyssillah.com. Sorry, that should say. Sophie says, you are inspirational, Dilys. We need to speak with Dilys back. Yes, great show.
Sophie, are you coming to the book launch? That's more to the point. Are you coming to the book launch? It'd be great to see you.
Hey, Janine. Oh, Janine's just joined. You must come to Dilys's book launch. I've just put up the link. I will chat to you about it later, but you would be amazing. Both of you would be amazing to connect with each other. So that is the end of the show.
Hey, Janine. Oh my goodness, Janine just popped up.
I know.
Never amen. Janine, I need to see you at that book launch. My
goodness. Come down.
You.
The live streaming queen, definitely.
Yes, I'm telling you.
Where is the book launch? Just in case people haven't.
The book launch is at the Rembrandt Hotel in South Kensington. It's opposite that famous museum. Is it the Albert and something museum?
Victoria and Albert Museum.
Victoria and Albert Museum is right opposite that. So it's a beautiful, it's very cozy, very homely. And if you've been to any of my events, as I say, I will proudly, I don't book rubbish places. So like even when I was running the charity Who Will Hear My Cry, we were at the Gibson Hall in Liverpool Street, and then I was in Placer's Hall in St. Paul's, and then I did my book launch at the Leonardo Royal Hotel in St. Paul's. I did the Speak with Dilys launch there as well. Where am I missing? Oh, and then I had a launch in Ghana as well, which was really lovely. No, I had my hen night was at the Ritz, actually, darling.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, darling, Anyway, look, I want to show your book again. You have been speaking with awesome and amazing Speak with Dilys, 365 ways to tell you you're special, out on Valentine's Day, daily aspirations and soul and affirmations to nourish and affirm your soul.
Do you know what, Danny? You know what we didn't do? Read what the book is about. So do you have the back of it that you can show?
Do you want to read it?
Yeah,
I think people have got a good taste in it.
I think so, and I can't really see it now.
Your blurb and everything is in the. It was all in the.
Oh yes, that's true. That
in the
is true.
post.
Yeah.
But if you head over to that link, you can read the blurb. Not just read the blurb, you can buy the book and read the book. It is like a beautiful, warm hug full of wisdom, affirmations, aspirations, wisdom, and Dilys's wit and humor in there. How could you not? That's what the book's about.
Basically, yeah.
Any final words from Dilys?
I just think that, as I said, we're in a time where there's so much coming at us from different angles every single day. And we need to have that counter argument. And 365 Ways to Tell You're Special is that counter argument. It's a book for men, women, children. My daughter had me sending her affirmations every morning. And it's really good for our teens because they are struggling a lot as well. So, those positive words of just upliftment and encouragement and focus, I think is something that we all need. And I use it myself. I don't treat the book like I wrote it. I use it myself. So yeah.
Amazing.
Enjoy it.
Thank you so much, Dilys. You have been amazing. There is no show next week. Taking a rest. I will be recovering from the awesomeness that is Dilys's book on Friday. Everyone have an amazing week, amazing evening and week ahead, and see you in a fortnight. Bye.